Goku Black? Dragon Ball Super's Goku Black arc. It doesn't make any sense. Not an ounce, milliliter, or whatever your preferred unit of measurement is. And I emphasize this because this arc broke my brain. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This week's video, it's gonna be a tough one. This is gonna test our relationship more than that one episode of Dragon Ball Super where Barry Khan tries to convince Videl that her good boy Gohan was cheating on her with actual photographic evidence. And yes, that actually happens, but more importantly, I need you guys to be my Videl on this one. During this video, I might say some things that you might disagree with, but through all of this, I will try to explain myself as best I can, and that I love you. I need you to look at this picture of me kissing Goku Black and understand that I'm doing this not because I want to. God, no. No, I'm kissing Goku Black because I have to. For us. I'm doing this for us. Now, at this point, I'm aware that this is starting to look like I'm stalling, like I don't want to start this video, and that's because you're right. While I do remember enjoying this arc of the show, I'm also keenly aware that it doesn't make a single ounce of sense, and I fear that my second trip around the block might tip me over the edge. But again, I do this for us. So, I'm totally not Mark, and this is my review for Dragon Ball Super's Goku Black arc. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna quickly mention this before I start my main review. There were a number of filler episodes that took place between this arc and the last. 5 episodes in total to be exact. They don't really connect anything and could easily be cut without any consequence to the continuity, but because I know you're gonna ask my opinion on them, here it is super fast. Episode 42. Totally fine, somewhat fun episode where we get a rematch between Goku and Beerus. Sort of. It's some slice of life, harmless fun to help unwind after the tournament. Nothing major. Episode 43. This is a really weird episode that introduces what I thought was, at the time, a new mechanic, Goku losing control of his ki due to his use of Super Saiyan Blue in tandem with the Kaioken technique. But it turned out to be a once-off, never again having consequence in the rest of the series to date, despite Goku using that exact same tandem technique a number of times thereafter. Episodes 44, 45, and 46. This filler arc is something that I thought could have been quite good actually, but was only okay really at the end of the day. The first episode is largely set up and boring.
Hang on, guys. One of my professors who teaches me at UNT.
Something that I thought could have been quite good actually, but was only okay really at the end of the
plays
day. The first episode
this guy. This guy right here, Bob Hess. I learned from someone who was in Dragon Ball Super. We actually were going to have someone who actually did the voice of Manaka, and as much as I kept thinking it was going to be Laura Bailey, it was something other Laura. And I was like, oh, that's fine, I guess. But I was just excited because I'm like, bruh, I got people. But anyway, really? You can't see my sensor if I just put it right here? Oh yeah, I took it off. Okay. I put it on the black part of his eye.
is largely set up and boring. The second episode is interesting, getting to see Vegeta deal with the loss of his power, and the third is a really underwhelming rematch of the Goku versus Vegeta fight. Overall, I thought these were mostly boring and nothing to write home about. Okay, it's time for Black.
I'm black, y'all. And I'm black and black and I'm black, y'all. Black, y'all. I love this song.
Episode 40.
I didn't know if he was going to use the whole thing, which is why I stopped. And it's like, because I'm black, y'all.
This is the best first episode to any arc of any Dragon Ball anything I have ever seen ever. This might also be the single most interesting and compelling Dragon Ball villain introduction the show, once again, has ever unveiled, at least to me. All the parts are there, opening effectively and fast by setting the scene, establishing the hero and the current objective. Remaining undetected by a shadowy figure in the sky, Trunks' reality really can seem to catch a break here. And it's not even 5 minutes in. Then, his mom dies. Bye, Bulma. In a really tragic way right in front of him before he's given the responsibility to flee to the past once again to search for help. We then get introduced to Mai.
Whoa, Mai!
Similar in age now to Trunks, their relationship is also given time to breathe as they eat cat food, again showing how dire the situation is for their timeline. Once again, Trunks, this time with Mai, runs into the shadowy figure in the sky on their way back to the time machine. Mai is taken out, but not really, and finally the shadowy figure is revealed. Okay, though, for real, when this episode first aired, literally everyone had that face unironically. Episode 48. The best parts of this episode are its beginning and end. Predominantly its beginning. Continuing on from the last episode in the future timeline, Trunks is still cornered by the looming threat of Goku Black, and so is forced into direct conflict. Once again, this is a great continuation from the previous episode, keeping the tone and the drama intact. Trunks manages to distract Goku Black long enough to peace out from that timeline and land himself into the present main timeline we are familiar with, leaving GB all kinds of confused. Some stuff with Trunks and Goten in school takes place, future Trunks arrives causing everyone to wig out and everyone dashes to the rescue. He's zapped of energy and out cold. Goku gets some senzu beans, Korn and Yajirobe are playing Limbo, and Trunks wakes up. Next. Episode 49. Okay, so this fight, it doesn't actually happen. Unless you mean this fight, that's totally unrelated and happens like 10 minutes later, in which case, yes, that absolutely happens. Trunks is brought up to speed. He even explains how he dealt with Majin Buu, which is a nice touch, I think, before going on to explain the whole evil Goku sitch his timeline has been dealing with, how almost all of humanity has been destroyed and that they are in a pretty desperate situation. Beerus and Whis are none too happy about this time manipulation, which honestly doesn't tell me anything other than that the writers needed a way for Beerus and Whis to not get involved with Trunks' timeline, which, again, if I'm being perfectly honest, is probably the most straightforward thing they did during this arc. Oh, and Goku Black discovers that Trunks escaped to another time before following him and showing up at the end of this episode in the present. Cliffhanger, episode 50. I really like this episode, and it's so pretty. This episode
There's
is
only one thing I was mad about with this episode. It was that, why does Goku need to be Super Saiyan 2? I would have much preferred Goku to stay in his base form while he fights Goku Black. Because it felt weird having, like, Goku, Super Saiyan 2, fighting Goku Black.
Yuichi Karasawa, and I just think it looks pretty, okay? But like most things, I have my issues with it. I'll get all the bad out of the way first. It's clear that the writers didn't put a ton of care into getting Goku and Goku Black into the same space for their first encounter. It's explained that Goku Black followed the tear in time Trunks' time machine left behind, and I'm like,
okay.
But then he gets pulled back in time because the tear is closing or something. Like, what? Look, just say it. You wanted Goku and Goku Black to fight, and this was the only way you could make it work while also keeping them apart. But whatever. Aside from that, the fight between Goku Black and Goku has some seriously polished and crisp artwork. While also showcasing some really interesting and fun fight choreography, it also stands in direct contrast with the rest of the arc, which, spoiler alert, is completely shrouded in darkness like 90% of the time. Before piecing out, Black destroys Trunks' time machine for some reason. I thought he wanted Trunks to be destroyed. Why would he get rid of his only way back to the future? To be fair, that is a minor nitpick, and maybe Black made a last-minute decision.
Okay, if Trunks had brought back Mai and everybody that they cared about had died at that time, like this, right here, and they destroyed the time machine, what would be the point of them going back? Everyone's dead. The best they could do is live out here, and no one would judge because everyone would be like, "Oh, you look like Bulma's kid." Oh, that's I get that a lot. Head ass. Auditioning for jobs at voices.com. Oh. I'll look into it soon. Okay.
Not a big deal. Thankfully, though.
A big deal. Thankfully, though, once everything calms down, Bulma reveals that she kept the extra time machine Cell used during the Cell saga. That's a really cool throwback, and one that really does a fantastic job at linking the past with the present of Super. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that it's the best callback to the past so far easily. I don't think I would ever have even thought of that. Episode 51. Mai is an older lady trapped inside a kid body, whose best friends are a dog and a small gremlin man. To me, her having a thing with Trunks is weird, and I can't shake that. Also, this episode is total filler and completely boring. Goku goes off to train in King Kai's. Beerus and Whis are suspicious of the key given off by Goku Black, and the evil boy's plans are laid to bear. Next! Episode 52. Another filler nothing episode that I found insanely boring, which is weird because the beginning of the arc did such a great job of sucking me in and getting the tension going. Much like the last episode, Bulma is still working on the time machine, repairing it. What follows, honestly, doesn't really impact anything. It could be removed and nothing would change. Trunks tracks down Gohan to meet up. They eat ice cream and have dinner. Gohan having ice cream before dinner? You bad boy. If you're a fan of Gohan and enjoy this interaction, I get it, but I personally found it to be a pointless distraction and very boring. When Trunks returns home from his day of debauchery with Dragon Ball's bad boy, he finds out that Beerus, Whis, and Goku are traveling to another universe to investigate the mysterious key of Goku Black. Episode 53. I actually really like this episode. It's mostly talking, but does have some action, a decent chunk of comedy with stupid Super Goku, but more importantly deals with, introduces, and establishes the foundational motivations for one of the most important characters in the arc, Zamasu, the individual next in line to be the Supreme Kai of Universe 10. There's a nice exchange between Gowasu, the current Supreme Kai of Universe 10, and his pupil Zamasu, who, upon entering the scene, presents tea to his master. Gowasu explains that the tea is a reflection of his pure heart and as a result will taste wonderful. With the focus on the teacup itself, Zamasu goes on to ask Gowasu questions regarding mankind's deservedness of their watchful eye. This conflicted outlook in Zamasu's head also clouds the tea Gowasu is drinking, and he notices this. I thought that was a really nice inclusion. There's a whole mess of stupid Super Goku being annoying that I'm choosing to ignore and skip because I hate it. The fight between Zamasu and Goku is actually interesting and fun, albeit short, facilitating an elegant way for Beerus and Whis to better understand who Black really is. Episode 54. There are a bunch of episodes that happen after the initial story beats are ironed out that really feel like padding. Trunks chilling out, Mai and the Peel-Off gang doing various things, and now more waiting around while Bulma adds the finishing touches to the time machine. Thankfully though, in this episode we finally get something at least a little bit interesting. We haven't really as of yet had a chance to see Vegeta and Trunks interact much since he returned, and so, if nothing else, this scene needed to take place. Vegeta spars with Trunks, testing his abilities, introducing Trunks to Super Saiyan Blue, and finally instilling within him the desire to always strive to be stronger. The episode itself ends proper as Zamasu's disillusionment arc continues to spiral out of control. His master Gowasu, seeing this, decides to show Zamasu the time rings, how to use them, and decides to bring the young Kai into the future of a particular race of mortals on planet Barbary. Episode 55. So the point Gowasu was trying to make for Zamasu on planet Barbary's future completely backfires and only reinforces the belief Zamasu already held onto tightly. Now having seen his master shocked by the events that took place under his own control, Zamasu now has all the proof he needs to know that what he feels is in fact correct. He must enact his plan to eradicate humanity. On the other side of things, Zeno requests Goku to come over. He wants to be friends with him. Apparently Zeno really likes him and decides to give Goku a button. And not just any button, a two-sided button that can bring Goku to Zeno or Zeno to Goku depending on which side he presses. Beerus, naturally, is terrified at the idea of this for obvious reasons. The episode ends with Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks leads Trunks, Goku, and Vegeta through the catacombs and subways they are forced to live in. So few people remain left alive, and she blames herself for not being strong enough or enough to protect them all. Goku and everyone puts this insecurity to rest quickly, thankfully. The cliffhanger for this episode. Episode 57. This episode is mostly action. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, I guess we'll find out. On a visual front, first and foremost, the episode contains some of the best animated scenes Dragon Ball Super has delivered so far. Supplied by Naotoshi Shida, a fantastic action animator famous at this point for working on the original Dragon Ball Z anime and for supplying that awesome cloud fight sequence between Goku and Beerus in the Battle of Gods movie. And no, this will not be the last time we see his work in Dragon Ball Super or even this arc, so get hyped for that. But even taking that short cut he supplied out, the artwork direction and in parts animation within this episode are largely far above the series average, which is honestly a great sign. From a story point of view, this is where things start getting really silly though. While Goku being able to keep up with Black is somewhat believable, Trunks doing so is most certainly not. Someone who was being schooled by Black in his base state while he was in Super Saiyan form should not be able to do what he's doing in this scene against a super-powered Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black. It's ridiculous and makes zero sense even with his little rage boost, which I wonder how many more of those we're going to get. They get defeated by Black and Zamasu, but thankfully are rescued by Yajirobe and Mai, sending them back to the past in a beaten heap. I guess it's back to the drawing board. Episode 58. Oh, also, I should say that in the last episode I made, I said that Zuno wasn't ever used again. I was actually completely wrong. My bad. I still think he's a dumb idea that creates far more problems than there needs to be, but at least he wasn't a once-off, so that's something. Zuno fills Zamasu in on all that he needs to know about the Super Dragon Balls, and we cut back to the house where we see more stupid Super Goku. He forgot to bring the sensu beans that they prepared. Wait, what? He forgot? Yeah, he forgot, because Goku's stupid. While Goku kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet and
Euron's forces,
sensu beans and Black's forces, I sit back in my chair, cringing. Again, another moment where the writing staff had no idea how to create a scene without compromising either logic or character. Could you imagine the Goku who prepared for the androids making this mistake? The answer? No. Episode 59. So in this episode, Beerus, Whis, Shin, and Goku, because he needs to be in almost every episode for some reason, arrive in Universe 10 to try to figure out if Zamasu is in fact sinister. They can't exactly reprimand him just yet, as technically he hasn't done anything too wrong yet. And so
the reason why I said I caught you this time is mainly because my stream likes to say, and then I click on it again. And it's like, you are lying, you are lying. It's
for proof. And they do pretty much just that. Zamasu does the do on Gowasu, Reese rewinds time, and Beerus Hakai's him out of existence. It's a cool scene, punctuated beautifully by the score, but there's not much to it in the way of narrative structure. It's just cool to finally see Beerus actually do something. Also, Beerus is convinced that this will fix all the timelines despite everyone knowing that that's not how time travel works in Dragon Ball. Other than that, in this episode, Trunks has a pep talk with Trunks, so that's weird, albeit sort of cute. Episode 60. So, the gang decided to go back to the future to see if the timeline has been miraculously fixed thanks to Beerus. Can I just ask, why are they going back? Nothing about them is different here. They are just as strong and unprepared as they were before, only this time they have sensu beans? They were completely outmatched last time. This is one of those moments in the anime that I think works far better in the manga. Now, I intentionally haven't mentioned the manga because I wanted to focus on the anime here primarily, but for the sake of this point, I'll use it as reference. In the anime, they go to the future 3 times. In the manga, they go just twice. Once they fail, they regroup and prepare as best they can before returning finally for the last time. They didn't do this in the anime until the 3rd time for some reason. Fool me once, shame on you. So, they go back to the future, and just when I thought they couldn't make Goku's character any weirder, they decide that he needed to have this bit of exposition.
Trunks! よく口と口くっつけんな。貴様、したことないのか？当たり前だろう。
Like, he has 2 sons? Think about that. How creepy is that? Well, thankfully, B and Z show up to save this awkward scene, and Vegeta finally attacks. Episode 61. So it's revealed that Zamasu is immortal, finally, and that Goku Black took out Goku already in a different timeline. I'm not going to try to make sense of this timey-wimey stuff right now, because it doesn't actually make any sense if you really think about it, and I value what's left of my sanity right now. We see Zamasu and Goku Black hug for a little too long, but, name a more iconic couple. Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt, eat your heart out. It's revealed to Goku how Black disposed of his family and him, which leads to Goku getting all sorts of mad. Now, don't get me wrong, it is a cool scene, but it's difficult for me to understand why he wouldn't be just as upset like that over Bulma dying. I guess because he has to have those hilarious scenes where he acts like an idiot around Zamasu, maybe. What would Dragon Ball Super do without that? Goku Black pulls a weird new move out of his butt. Discovers new depths to his power and takes Goku out once again. Black starts posturing and gloating and making all sorts of evil noises as Trunks looks on, leading to Trunks receiving his second unreasonable power boost of the arc. At least this time it looks cool. Episode 62. Okay, it doesn't look cool anymore. It looks awful. Make it stop. Please make it stop. Okay, so get this. Trunks, on his own, holds off a super-powered Goku Black and an immortal Zamasu, while Goku and Vegeta both escape back to the past for a second time. Goku literally starts laughing about how he punched himself to Chi-Chi, and Vegeta flies off to better himself before the next fight like he should have done the last time. Oh, and actually, okay, Goku heads over to Master Roshi's to learn the Mafuba, which, if I'm being completely honest, is an ingenious way of dealing with an immortal villain that I personally had forgotten about. Episode 63. Meanwhile, in the future, Mai decides that the best course of action that she should take is to shoot Goku Black. With a gun. Yep, well, that didn't work. And oh look, another unrealistic fight scene showing Trunks acting way more powerful than he should be if this story actually made sense. But at least it looks pretty. As soon as Vegeta, Bulma, and Goku arrive back in the future to help Trunks, Black destroys the time machine immediately, which is honestly a good idea. Okay, look, there's been silly moments in this show so far, but they have a good plan right now with the Mafuba, and there's time to deliver a great third act. So, fingers crossed, let's do this. Goku and Vegeta start fighting Black and Zamasu. Vegeta just wrecks Black, and it's really satisfying. Satisfying because you know how much it means for Vegeta to take revenge on the guy that defeated him personally, and who ruined his son's life. It's a great scene with some classic Vegeta one-liners. Episode 64. Vegeta continues to school on Black until Black learns that Saiyans get their power through anger and then stabs his own hand to turn his energy sword into a scythe. Just in case the Grim Reaper metaphor wasn't lost in any of us. It's at this point Goku Black turns into a ridiculous character, crapping out new techniques without he even knowing what the hell is going on. Like, it gets really silly. While this is all happening, Trunks learns the Mafuba in like a few moments and captures Zamasu perfectly. It turns out that Goku, once again, kinda forgot.
The Iron Fleet and Euron's forces.
He forgot the damn seal for the Mafuba to actually work. I hate this arc. This was a great way for the story to dispose of an immortal character, and now it goes right down the toilet. I guess it's time to go full marketing dummy mode now. Fusion has joined the chat. Episode 65. Now, do you remember how much more powerful Vegeta was than Goku and Vegeta separately? Well, I do, and there's no earthly or godly way that Zamasu should have any problem dispensing of either Goku, Vegeta, or Trunks, even if they teamed up. But whatever, cool fight scenes gotta happen, I guess, and they don't know how to do that while making sense. There's a neat father-son Gallic gun scene that's okay, despite it not making any sense how they're holding Zamasu back, but that pales in comparison to how Goku alone holds his blast back. Power scaling matters. This is just confusing and weird. Episode 66. This is the big action episode, and it feels like that in every sense of the word. From the pacing to the tension to the set piece and even to the sense of desperation that builds up towards the end. I don't think I even need to go over what happens in this episode. You've all already seen it. It looks visually very impressive and has some really nice ideas for techniques too, like the final Kamehameha. Just a tasteful bit of fan service with that one. But one aspect a lot of people seem to dislike about this episode was how they handled the diffusion of the two main characters, Goku and Vegeta. It's revealed in this episode that there is in fact a time limit for mortals wearing these earrings. This is my take on this scene. This is not a retcon. A retcon is a change to a previously established rule. This forever fusion with the earrings was once a rule, yes, but because Vegito defused in the Boo Saga without any explanation, the retcon doesn't happen in Super, it happens in the Boo Saga. The only thing Super did was offer an explanation for that diffusion. So stop being babies about it. I'm not defending this arc by any means, but I'm not going to criticize it over something it didn't do. I'm genuinely trying to be fair here. The fight, as I said, was fantastic, but as I've explained, the two diffuse because tension needs to happen and Trunks hops in the final moments to make the save. I love how the corruption arc that Zamasu has gone on has manifested visually in his appearance. The choices he's made having left his face and body grotesque and disfigured. He screams at Trunks both menacingly and uncomposed. It's a great position his character has ended up in against the virtuous hero of Trunks. And I can even make peace with Zamasu being weakened after his battle with Vegito, or with him being emotionally compromised enough for Trunks to make a difference here. Sort of, but then this happens. So Trunks can do the Spirit Bomb with his sword, despite never having learned the move, it never being foreshadowed, or it even being mentioned a single time within the entire story within the Black, Universe 6, Resurrection F, or Battle of Gods arcs.
Okay.
This is so unbelievably done. Like, it looks cool, but it is a massive Deus Ex Machina, coming out of thin air to facilitate an ending the writing staff or Akira Toriyama didn't plan for. It's a truly awful ending. Episode 67. An arc that started with the best first episode I've ever seen now ends with the single worst ending I've ever seen. Literally every single character except for Mai and Trunks from that timeline dies. Remember those soldiers? Dead. Remember Yajirobe and the other civilians? Dead. Remember those little children that started cheering for Trunks first, giving him the energy he needed to save the world? Well, they're super dead. And not even dead in the traditional Dragon Ball sense of the word, where they effectively just go to a different part of the universe forever. Oh god, no. They are dead. Like, they don't even, nor can they ever, exist anymore. And why is this a problem? Well, because it makes the entire, and I mean entire, arc utterly, painfully, and irreversibly pointless. So Zamasu becomes the Sky because he's immortal, and that's what immortals do if they fuse with a mortal and get sliced in half, apparently. Goku has the bright idea then to smash the Zeno button, and the little guy literally erases the entire universe. So that's fun. Trunks then goes on to live with future Mai and future Trunks in a timeline where the events of Black never happened, living with themselves, and no one mentions why this is such a horrific existential nightmare. And the arc comes to a close. Everyone is weirdly happy, and Trunks leaves crying as he looks at Gohan, who played virtually no role in this arc. What's happening? Okay, I've mentioned the story doesn't make sense numerous times during this video, and I understand that a lot of people can look past that because things look cool. So why does something not making sense stop someone like me from enjoying something? Well, take this for an example. Imagine you have two men fighting on a log floating on a giant lake. It's just a regular lake with nothing special about it. It's in the real world. Both can swim, and suddenly one kicks the other into the water. Suddenly, the man submerged in water, without warning, spontaneously catches fire and explodes. This would be a bad ending because it breaks the rules of how we understood that scene should work. A story works the same way. If an ending breaks the established logic and rules put in place, it feels nonsensical, lazy, and idiotic. An example of a good piece of storytelling was seen in episode 53. It's believable that Beerus and Whis would recognize Black's ki from Zamasu's fight with Goku, as it is an established part of how powers in the show work. It also stands to reason Zamasu wouldn't be on the defensive because he would have no knowledge of the events as he hasn't become evil yet. So that works. But this arc is filled with a lot of really, and I mean really, stupid choices for the story. Not because they were choices made by dumb people, far from it. Toei has shown that they can write compelling episodes time and again. What is abundantly clear to me, looking at the choices they have made, however, is that they are uncompromisingly focused on one thing above all else: marketing. They are not concerned about telling a compelling, thought-provoking, or well-written story. First and foremost, they're concerned with what will get the audience's excited via trailer the most. Future Trunks does absolutely nothing in this except learn all the same lessons he did in the Cell Saga. In order to keep him relevant with the main cast and competent in the fight scenes, he gets one absurd power boost after another, climaxing in a finish that, while delivered in favor of the right person, and while appropriately visually striking, it is carried out utilizing a technique with no prior foreshadowing, established history, or anything really. It comes out of nowhere because the writers had nothing established for the character to carry out his big finish. The original first Super Saiyan transformation with Goku and Namek against Frieza worked because it was foreshadowed. The same for Goku teleporting Cell away during the Cell games. The same for the Spirit Bomb against Vegeta. These were all satisfying finishes utilizing techniques that had been clearly established prior to their use in their respective climaxes. And if you don't believe me that marketing was the driving force for a lot of these decisions, Vegito, the fusion of Goku and Vegeta, is supposed to wear a combination of clothes Goku and Vegeta were currently wearing before before they threw the old bling on their ears. But they ignore that in Super because that's what Vegeto's toy is supposed to look like, and they can't change that. Goku Black and Zamasu's existence didn't make any sense within the established logic of the show. And I'm saying this now, the canon explanation is wrong. But to explain why, believe me, will require a long explanation because, believe it or not, it's stupidly complicated with so many moving parts. It's a wonder Toei were able to bluff their way through using it. Though it does explain why so many people don't notice that it doesn't make sense in the community. It's way too convoluted to even figure out completely. I fully intend on addressing and explaining why this particular canon explanation is wrong, but that will take an entire video, and trust me, this will be a long, entirely separate video. Also, the ending of the arc is, I think, the biggest slap in the face Dragon Ball has ever, to this date, delivered to its audience. Not only are there no consequences leading on from this arc, but the means with which they revert back to the status quo is insultingly lazy and disrespectful to the intelligence of the fans that diligently followed along week after week. In addition to all of this, scattered throughout are various sections of exposition and info delivered seemingly without any thought or care put into how it would affect the established world. Goku has never kissed Chi-Chi. What? Trunks can do a spirit bomb with his sword. What? Everyone dies and nothing matters and I'm sad now. What? And those are my thoughts on the Goku Black arc. It's mindless, but it is visually fun. So if you turn off your brain, I'm sure there's plenty to enjoy. I just happen to really not like it this time. If you enjoy this series, subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want the subscription to work, and leave a like if you enjoyed. But until next week, I've been Totally Not Mark. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you, Mark. For everybody who's still in the chat, I appreciate.
No, he would be like,
Sorry, Masako, that's weird. Watching a YouTube stream on a YouTube stream for a YouTube stream because I'm a YouTube streamer anyway. YouTube stream because I'm a YouTube streamer anyway. Alright, new island map. Oh shoot, I got class soon. I can show up like 10 minutes late. No, wait. We're only in there for like 20 minutes. Well, you know what? I can stay on mute while I'm in class. No. Work this magic. Okay. So what we're gonna do is I am going to stop watching the stream on my phone just so I know who's there and I can see all types of chats. I'll just look at it later. But in the meantime, oh, well, gosh, diggity dang. Oh, 106? Dang, that was a while ago. That's kind of sad. Can everyone still hear me okay? Nah. Right now, I'm coming in more clean than I normally do. Interesting. Right now, I'm coming in more clean than I normally do. You are now a mod. Enjoy your mod privileges. Right now, I'm coming in more clean than I normally do. You are now a mod. Enjoy your mod privileges. Right now, I'm coming in more clean than I normally do. You are now a mod. Enjoy oh my god! I just realized I'm breaking the stream.
If you are 92 with one more class, so for today's class you will have 100 in the attendance.
All right.
I don't know if you have any questions for today.
I actually don't. I've been working on my philosophy work for a hot minute, and I think I'm going pretty well with like the speed and the tempo of it. Are you okay?
Yes.
You just sounded really sad. I'm like, what's wrong?
No, I'm not sad. I just have a lot of work to do.
I understand.
It's a topic, so it can be anything. For example, in the summer last year, one student did a great work trying to talk about political racial theory and the movement that the football players have here, like the football players that were going in their knees to win the national sound. So they were trying to express that they were against the white supremacy and these ideas. So that was a very good work. But you can do any topic. I don't know if you have some subject you really like. That will be a good starting point.
All right.
I can give you a lot of examples. One that I really like is settings. Right now, for example, you can ask yourself what is to live a good life in this pandemic, like what it means to be in a situation where you can be not only that you can get sick, but you also can like give this disease to other people. What is the ethical way of acting? Also, from ethics, like with the artificial intelligence, what will be the right choice to make when we are dealing with this kind of programs that maybe they will become free agents and they can have a lot of implication for the human world and for the human world in general. From art, there is a lot of ideas about what is art today, how we can define what is an artwork. And if you see the Bransky like, work, he or she, we don't know who is,
Hmm.
this kind of art that is ephemeral or that is even the like the urban art, like how these have changed the perception that we have of art. Because before you're supposed to have art as a more snob way of being, like only people in the higher class can have access to art. But right now, even the graffitis are considered art. So maybe this pop art or this pop culture give a different meaning to art, and also you can work with art from different perspectives, from music, from sculpture, from painting. So there is a lot of subjects there that you can also like pursue in the research paper.
So with the research paper, all I really have to say is like how it's relating back to the real world and like use two different philosophers for that.
No, the research paper is just one general topic and then try to relate it with one philosopher.
Oh, okay.
So it's 3 pages, and you have to do it like a formal paper with introduction, develop, and conclusion, and have some citations there and the bibliography. For the final exam, it's more like personal, like these philosophers, how they speak to you.
Okay, I got it now.
And like there are a lot of different topics that you can choose from sports, like how an sport imply, for example, a good life for a person, or how can transform the life of these persons in society. Because if you see a lot of people that play sports, that they are like very recognized right now. They start for a lower class. So actually, through sports, it's a way that people can change their social status and how these have an implication in their life and like in the relation with society. Um, from I don't know what other things, like from science, like how science have transformed the way that we look at the world, and for example, from technology, how technology transformed this world, and how what are the implications of that transformation. If we see, for example, cities with 10 million people living in those, how these big cities transform the way that humans live their life. So there is a lot of topics that you can choose, and linguistics and literature. So anything that you actually like, you can transform it into a philosophical paper. Remember that philosophy is just in the way that we ask the question and how we can try to solve those questions. So the actually what I want in the research paper is to see something that you like, that you are able to enjoy. I don't know if there is another question. And I suggest that you go to Canvas and see your grades. And because if you need to send more of the discussion posts, I can receive those and the attendance. So, who of you need the attendance today?
I do.
Vivian, Chandler, Vivian.
That feeling when you realize that everyone else is on mute and you're the only one who's been talking out loud. So everyone else is just like, who are you? I'm like, oh, me. Right. Who's the dumbest? I'm the dumbest. Who's the dumbest? I'm the dumbest. Dumbest motherfucker. Whoever fucked a mother. Huh.
The final exam is going to be on May 5, but you can do it like right now if you want. The idea is that it's a personal approach to philosophy. So you can choose two philosophers and say how their theories are related to your normal life. It's pretty simple, it's very personal. So what I want you to think is how you can understand this philosophy and how you can relate, like in which way they speak to you. And it's only one page, 250 words. So one page, or you can do a video or an audio recording about 2 minutes. That will be the final exam. And then the research paper is on April 30th and is a formal paper. So you have the introduction, the develop, the conclusion, and some citations. And there is not a limit of philosophers. It's just that you are able to relate the topic that you chose with something that we discuss in class. Any other questions? Were you able to see on May 5? You can send it until 12 p.m. Well, 11:59 p.m. But you can send it from now till there, so you have all this time to do it if you want to do it first. You can choose any philosopher, but the idea is that you know exactly what is the theory of that philosopher. So I propose one that we already study in class because you have an idea of that philosopher. Looking from other philosophers, maybe.
Alright, out of class because we already got everything we needed. Everybody was just asking questions, and all I wanted to know was something that somebody already asked, and they answered it, and I'm like, hey! Also, never ever tell me, like, what can or cannot be copyright claimed, because I already got a copyright claim, like, a little bit over an hour ago. Remember, about an hour ago, I was playing Naruto and JoJo. So considering that was all that was playing, I probably got copyrighted because of that. And YouTube sent me the copyright claim. So, there's that. Alright. Whaletail Island is done. Did I save it? This is why my voice is so easy to get in acrylic. I just have such a whiny voice. This is why my voice is so easy to get in acrylic. I just have such a whiny voice. Actually, I probably can't even get in acrylic today because of the fact that, like, all this stuff is gurked up on my throat. Actually, I probably can't even get in acrylic today because of the fact that, like, all this stuff is gurked up on my throat. Oh no! It's starting to relapse! Okay. I've got a good little group of maps here. We got 7 so far. However, this one, because I was listening to part 3's opening, I thought, man, I want to fight somebody. I was like, yeah, I want to fight somebody. I'm gonna build an arena for somebody. I want to fight somebody. Just somebody to fight me. Oh, I want to fight with somebody. I want to live with somebody. I want to fight with somebody. Just somebody who hates me. I know I got a lot of people in the chat who hate me, and that is okay. That is okay for me because I know that you don't mind hating me too, because I know that you hate me too, and I don't give a damn about you like I don't care about me. Let's see, where's the stone gray? There's the stone gray. Woo! Stone gray! Stone gray. Stone gray. Stone gray. I am making 10 maps today. Oh, it's stone gray. Well, I'm not making 10 maps. I'm gonna have 10 maps by the end of the stream. Once I've made 10 maps, the stream is pretty much over. And since this is my 8th, we're coming up. Like right around here. Maybe if I could yeah. Oh yeah, oh most definitely. This is what's gonna be like. I'm just putting in patches of dirt just so that way like I can add in trees. Because I don't want it to look right. I need to do that too. While I have that on my head, I should late make this thin. Stream. Oh, gross. It's dumb. That looked dumb. That was better in my head. That was so much better in my head. All right. 80. Okay. And now it's time. Apparently, someone said this sounded like Dr. Doofenshmirtz. And I thought, what? Dr. Doofenshmirtz? I am Dr. Nefario. Shrink. Shrinky dink. See, but when the mountain looks this big, it makes the city look like, oh wow, this is a really far away view of this town. shiny little hut. Oh, I could like have it be like a small little. Oh, that's so cute. Okay. A fortress. We shall pivot you. That looks stupid though. So we shall delete. Why can't I at least just flip the image? No? I'm a bitch. Well, fuck you too. Alright. I'll put some dead little trees around here. Click on some deciduous over. Alright. Just scatter it a bit, just like some people don't like all their trees in one spot. They like to spread them out a bit. And some people also just like, just a bit of grass. Just give the people something to live on. Like, I feel like all these people who are living on a camp should not be living on a desert camp. That sounds very dumb. But you know what isn't dumb? Living on some plains. But you know what happens if we don't have plains? We have trees! Tree! Okay, alright, I'm done. That's enough trees. I wonder, I'm gonna check in the stamp catalog. Do they have a gladiatorial pit? Because if they do, then I might be willing to pay for a subscription. They have airships? Ooh! Ah! They have reverse facing versions of that dragon, so I don't have to keep pivoting. Ah! Ah! They have statues! They have elven cities, dwarven cities. They got elf cities. They got dwarf cities. They got orc cities. They got desert buildings. I could have stuff for deserts. I could have Eastern dragons. See this right here. This might be worth buying. What I said I'd get if they had it. Shoot, I don't remember. I was too busy being in awe. Ah, Shikamaru Nara. Ah, the Refati Masuma, whom I assume you're familiar with. Well, if not, well, Kuna Matata no Mata. The death momentous left the momentous but just to settle. So you better be just the better the dead is buried alive is excessively metal. Not body bad, that's probably bad. They have a pit? What a drag. I don't need the gun, so I don't need the ammo. So I'm rubbing the shadows. I'm another kind of puppeteer. You're probably shedding a couple of tears. I guess it's. Aw, man. It's in Fantasy World. Oh, well, I'm paywalled. I'm paywalled. Hardest. Well, guys, Gladiatorial pit. That's what I was looking for. Okay, I remember it now. One more tree. Alright, that's enough trees. What should I name this city? I'll take requests. I saw Cobblefell in chat. But like... Feeling like your breath because I'm the boss up in this thing. You know what? I'm going to play it because I love them. The beat of this song got stuck in my head and I was like ripping everything apart in my YouTube just to remember what it sounded like. I'm going to blast this. Well, maybe not blast, but I can turn it up more.
But I'll commit a sin, cause you're gonna feel my wrath. Yeah, you won't be feeling happy when I split your head in half. Hang you by your neck scarf and I'll tear you apart. You're busy doing tournament arcs whilst I'm battling guards. Won't be coming back alive, I'll be making sure you die. I'm the captain of the sins, you're not even your guild's top 5. Second rate demon blood or the king in my DNA. You're the favourite protagonist of kids who've seen one anime. Cutting with magic, you cannot imagine, I stand with my pride and my passion. Keep fighting against tragic stories, dramatic, so I'm the unbeatable dragon. I'm gonna end your fairy tale through my power. Don't even bother rapping, cause I will just use for counter. And even with a broken blade, you're too easy to handle. The power of friendship will be saving you from this battle. So get gone, go and dwell on where you went wrong. Don't be sad if you lose, like your show will be retconned.
Retcon, shut up before you get stepped on. Bars are weaker than Escanor getting sunset on. Got a tattoo, now you think you are a dragon? I can't believe I'm battling this Bilbo Baggins. Coming up short, but it gets scorched when you feel my flames. Look at your bar, it's apart, please stay in your lane. Worry when you pull out full counter. Only thing I fear is what you serve on your counter. One task and you couldn't do that. All's about to do his job cause you're about to get scrapped. Letting down your fans that you love and adore. Your new season's like your bar, just one big bore. Kinda wanna post it but nobody really wants you. Fairy Tale of Guild is much better than where some grew. Scared that you're lying, I do the deciding. Done with this verse, now go back to your hiding.
Never tired, I'm preaching right to the choir. Man, your rapping has no heat, thought you meant to spit fire. Charging in a battle, helping people think you saved the day. Looking at the rubble, they were better right before you came. Hey, don't get mad cause you lack skill. Call up Grey cause you need to take a chill pill. Thinking that you win while you're blind and it shows. You couldn't find your dad who was literally under your nose. All the fire eating gonna leave you with a sore throat. You like to kiss your own ass like an Ouroboros. CSX Mac, you know will save you and you know it. Your name sounds like a sneeze, so of course you would blow it.
I'm finished with you, idiot. Really, your show's ridiculous. Cause no one bets a not when you are feeling up Elizabeth. Think that your words hurt when you're just a pervert that's like in any class when you're peeking under her skirt. Couldn't cut it in the 10 Commandments, so you came here and put the sins and hide it. Now you think we're in the same tier. When this battle's over, they can look back at the history of how I called him Gray and told my victory. Got my face and you're about to get beaten. There's no way that I would lose to a pint-sized demon. Said I sound like a sneeze. Yeah, that line was just decent. And 7 deadly sins just blew their whole season.
Like, these are fire. Also, speaking of fire, this acapella slaps harder than anything I could have ever thought of. And I'll leave y'all with this.
A one, two, three, four.単純なステージ乾くほどでかい水が愛おしたい誰かにかな困難なステージ象徴を示す文字水平線が中央も何度くじかれてもその希望両手に僕ら波を打って翼を見せると叫ぶんだ Get down, we all let you know this time Can you bring me down, back up Gets far off the sky Black Rover, it's got 共に見よう今は黒に染めようこんなふざけた時代 Black Rover 今日の中に僕らの開くから Let's go backstage
Again.
Who's the man who's dealing with every villain? 1 second you see him chilling, the next minute he's straight winning, feeling like it's great.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba.
I've gotten used to supernatural insanity. Enough to be so silent, peaceful every night. But I'm caught on the rails of the stress. It gets me through right, and I know there's something another side. I'm swallowed by egalitarian philosophy, and I can't figure out what my emotions even mean. But if I can't relate just exactly what I'm feeling, I'm really just a puppet on a string. As I step into the crowd, they're all happy and they're
The rhythm of the music singing marmalade, sugar stone peanuts and I finished it. Just every feeling better since my head to within. Come along and dance with me, party till we lose. Happens up in the night to make a more of our world. I feel like I'll never look back, never let go. Marmalade and sugar stone peanuts and I finished it. To be sweet and bitter since I had it till I spin. When along till we use up, and it will be the night to make a mark upon the world. Yes, I said, I feel like I'll never look back, never let go. Yeah, I feel like I'll never look back, never let go. Oh God, I can hear him. It's terrible.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, I feel like I'll never look back and never let go. We'll listen to that next.
See me quivering in fear, trembling with my body when enemies come near. Cause I've been a nervous wreck, always yelling through the tears when I'm panicking and manic and never wanna be here. Wanted to be brave, wanna stand up like a champ. I've been through years of practice when I was training with the grams of getting cramps. I'm overloaded, hoping I can back down. It is getting crazy, I'ma lose myself and blackout. Striking a line and I'm no longer frightened when demons attacking, I'm knocking it down. Hitting the ground, ripping it, gripping the blade of the thunder is bringing the sound. End of the round, spiders are nothing, there's something inside of me, showing the colours of the foxes around. I could be doing it proud, cracking it, coming in loud. Cut them in a minute of pieces, feel the power, it increases. These demons are like diseases, no speeches cause none is needed. They may have all forgot me, they can't even stop me. When I'm coming in, gonna win with the Godspeed. Can you feel the thunder, brewing every second, hold my weapon going under. Hey. Can you feel the thunder? Hear the monster stepping, learn a lesson, make them wonder. Hey, can you feel the thunder? People keep forgetting I'm a blessing, I'ma stun ya. Hey, can you feel the thunder? Remember that you're dreading, keep on shredding in my slumber.
Some are born great, I don't think I am one. Others like me have greatness thrust upon them. Responsibility, don't want it, but I've got some. A liability, I'm sticking out just like a sore thumb. Force in my hand, I am planned to fight. Cause when I'm backed in the corner, I lack the bite. I think it's like it might to face the demons before me. Ain't seen my whole story, came back to life. When I was sad that night, it didn't change much. Honest, all I'm after is a life that is painless. So I'm getting fed up of acting so shameless. When I get the lead out, this steel's looking stainless. I'm closing my eyes, I ain't trying to nap. Y'all know the fight when I close the trap. Comes as no surprise when these foes are slapped. I'm gaining notoriety with thunderclap.
Can you feel the thunder, brewing every second, hold my weapon going under. Hey, can you feel the thunder? Hear the monster stepping, learn a lesson, make them wonder. Hey, can you feel the thunder? People keep forgetting I'm a blessing, I'ma stun ya. Hey, can you feel the thunder? Remember that you're dreading, keep on shredding in my slumber.
You know what? I won't make a map on here. Not for this one.
Stop. Take a minute to think, you gotta use your intellect when your life is on the brink. I can feel you sink into the depths of your psyche. Don't try to fight me, your mind's behind me. Feel the shadows gripping at your soul, movements that I mold. You do what you're told when this ninja's in control. I know that you wanna fold when you start the battle bold. In the end, I have won, you're another corpse cold. I've been a battle with my homeboy Chogi. Life is just a game, your pieces like in shogi. Acting with my weapons, guessing you don't even know me. When I end your life, I'm gonna end it slowly. When I'm laying traps, the knack that I have, stop attacks and I'm mad when I wanna take a nap, but it's drab. That's a fact. I already have you mapped, or I may be lazy, but your crazy plans already scrapped. Darkness, omen. Can you feel the shadows haunting? You're too boring. Watching how your blood is pouring. Patience, talking. I ain't gonna give you warning. I'm not falling. Gonna show the world my calling. Darkness, forming. Can you feel the shadows haunting? You're too boring, watching how your blood is pouring. Patience, talking. I ain't gonna give you warning. I'm not falling. Gonna show the world my calling. Pause, take a moment and I meditate, generate every strategy for my team, and I delegate positions in this mission. I've never been one to hesitate, as long as no one dies, and that could be the cause to celebrate. Learn from my sensei and my father, need to train harder regardless if I think I'm smarter. Work together better with my team and my partners. When Asima died, he died as a martyr. I'm normally not the one to go get revenge, but I come with my abilities that bring his end. Caught him in my web, leave him buried and compressed. If he can never die, then he can never rest. Strive to be the best, know I finally found my purpose, so I pass my knowledge to anyone else who heard this. Know that I deserve this, I worked so hard to earn this. When narrator needs advice, I kindly be of service. Darkness, forming, can you feel the shadows haunting? You're too boring, watching how your blood is pouring. Patience, talking, I ain't gonna give you warning. I'm not falling, gonna show the world my calling. Darkness, forming, can you feel the shadows haunting? You're too boring, watching how your blood is pouring. Patience, talking, I ain't gonna give you warning. I'm not falling, gonna show the world my calling.
If I haven't gotten y'all to look at Rustage's stuff, look at Rustage. He's amazing. Papa Rusty, because he's Santa Claus in our Patreon.
Spitting like it's destiny, you're meant to be an entity of hate decreed and made to be a slave to see my pain agreed, but came to grieve the way I've been. I changed the scene. I hate to be angry and stirring my misery. I say my fate is pre-written, you disagree. Punches are missing me, say you make history. Maybe it's different, the future's a mystery. Puncturing your pressure points, a pity you and pitted with pathetic people. Punching them is all I need. Picturing the perfect pattern, painting all the places where the pain is. I'll be perfect with abilities. Coming in swift when I cause harm. 8 trigrams hitting 64 palms. It's over, so it's better if you stay calm. When I strike in your body like napalm. The mark on my head, it was something I fishing with, but now I use it as a way to prove I'll be my own man. Change my mindset, now I rep my own clan, proving that we can be the strongest in the known land. Fight for a war for our future, hitting every minute, do my best to help. But if it means that we can win, then I'll sacrifice myself.
Stay calm, your pressure points like a
hitting your
barrage.
pressure points till you apart.
Stay calm, your
8
pressure like
palms,
a
striking
barrage.
repeatedly like a barrage.
Graveyard,
Graveyard, littered with
spot.
bodies of people we sparred.
Graveyard.
Byakugan, facing the Hyuga
Now
Clan,
stop,
running
Cupid
hard.
style.
Keep it on top. Look at them drop. See what we've got. We cannot stop. Keep it on top. Look at them drop. See what we've got.
Like my fist in my nature, gentle. No ninjutsu, this ain't elemental. I know if I were you, see, I'd be careful, cause I'm about to unleash my full potential. So you want the 8, wait, when I'm landing every single blow at a perfect rate. It ain't gonna take 64-foot checkmate. This was over when I gently stepped in your space. And got your Tenketsu in my view. I'ma hit 'em all, gotta prove it to my boo with every obstacle you got, no matter what I'm pushing through. So keep your hits coming, backing down on what I do. I guess it took a girl kinda shy, now you realize that you're simply running out of time, quickly reaching your demise. Can't lie, like this you try, I'ma end this all before the sunrise.
Wait.
You see, I make up for it with my credibility.
It's kind of weird to say this, but I feel really at home memeing around with you guys. I feel honored to have you absolute mad lads that want
Hang
to
on, I'm about to watch some that might just be a troll.
some other people for the sake and glory of this landscape that I create.
Okay, I'm back. I'm honestly happy with the result.
Visual ability to see all of the trickery. Hugo and the name imagery is my specialty. Not it for the win, now that's blessed. Honestly, you should know what's next from the hits to your chest and every point pressed. See you falling over, that's cardiac arrest.
Stay calm, hitting your pressure points till you apart. Eight palms striking repeatedly like a barrage. Graveyard littered with bodies of people we sparred. Byakugan facing the Hyuga clan going in hard. We cannot stop. Keep it on top. Look at them drop. See what we've got.
Stop, Hyuga style, keep it on top. Hyuga style, we cannot stop. Hyuga style, we cannot jump. Hyuga style, we cannot stop.
We cannot stop. Keep it on top. Look at them drop. See what we've got. We cannot stop. Keep it on top. Look at them drop. See what we've got. Hyuga style.
Oh! The last map of today, people. You've all been so patient and so kind, and Jonas, you just couldn't help but spoil yourself of the videos that I would be posting.
Do you know pain? Do you know sadness inside of your brain? Do you know hate? Do you know rage? Do you know how it could drive you insane? I must refrain from snapping. It's a crack inside my sanity, but tragedy is actively ripping apart reality. Parents were murdered in front of me. Wanna be free of this torment and agony, dragging my soul in disparity, rapidly falling eternally, lacking in gravity. Mad at me, not understanding the casualties have to be actually willing to battle the root of the problem, the logical fallacy, cycle of vengeance that leads to calamity. We were just children.
Jonas, since you're still in here, I did want to say something. Just like as a thing, I'm gonna play the Freezer rap. Just because the Freezer rap, since you're still in here, is so good. Just like as a thing, so I'm gonna play the Freezer rap. Just because the Freezer rap is so good.
You are lucky to be standing in my presence. For your final moments, for I send you to the heavens. See me as a god when I walk amongst the peasants. In a couple seconds, you'll be nothing but an essence. I'll be passing down my sentence for these vermin, not a lesson. That rebellion isn't pleasure, should be thankful for my blessing. Cause I live for that expression of your anger and depression. Hope I made a good impression, now it's over any question. Daddy, you're doing my damage, I'm lacking a challenge. Just how much I'm blowing the plans. I've had the advantage of making them vanish. I'm any more lines than you even imagine. I'm gonna trigger to death, making them lose their breath. Now that you're facing the best, I can put you to the test. Leave your body iced. It seems that we differ. Putting up a fight, I'll freeze you, stay bitter. Nice of you to try, these beams are so quicker. It's over when you die, cause I'm a cold killer. Watch them begging for their lives. They scream, they plead, and they cry. Why should a vermin race survive? I mean, see the gleam in my eyes. Watch them begging for their lives. About to set the world on fire. Why should a vermin race survive?
We make way for my empire. You disgust me, you silly little monkeys. Maybe when I'm grumpy. You spit, I don't care if you love me. In the end, you will still bow down. Just bearing to the first time, but I see now. And once, why would you not die? Now I gotta find and work. I gotta get it. I was only in the first one. I was only in the first one. They were my key. They were in the first one. I don't want peace. I am going for what hurts more. Going blast key. I'ma eat it like a first score. First short. Father was a fool when he died like a dog. Go cool. Next time it'll be so on. It'll be so long. Goodbye to the last breath. In your last breath.
Watch them begging for their lives. They scream, they plead, and they cry. Why should a vermin race survive? I mean, see the gleam in my eyes. Watch them begging for their lives. About to set the world on fire. Why should a vermin race survive? Wipe me clean, make way for my empire.
So, last map of the day is going to be a map on... Oh, it's Goku Rap. Okay. It's going to be a map on Billow Drifts, because that's a thing that you are going to be in today.
I will never cower even when I'm bloodied on the floor. Hour after hour I'm training and now I break a sweat. Take a breath, we all know what's gonna happen next. Breaking the ceiling, impossible feeling I'm messing you up. If you're messing with killing or killing, but dealing with enemies telling me better be ready, they gotta be kidding. I'm beating up Freezer, an arrogant cheater, a creature who's thinking he could be a leader. Defeat him and leave him a member so eager after I'm famished, a bottomless eater. Hitting with a super saiyan flow, quicker when I flick a spit a villain that I go. Oh, Android or alien foes, I will be breaking their bones with the force from my blows. Don't need no Dragon Balls that brought me power, that's just me. I'll blast you out of my planet, you'll need a sensu bean. 5 seconds till it's over, take it to another level. 4 punches to the body now that you're wanting to wrestle. 3 and a minute. 2, I will bring it. 1, feel the power is to break it through my limits. I can feel it through the ceiling. I will win it, breaking limits. See my spirit in a minute. This is finished, breaking limits. Yeah, we're breaking limits. Yeah, we're breaking limits. I know they fear us. I'm a god like Beerus. Ain't nobody messing with Goku.